Thank you, Doug. I'm really pleased to be here, really pleased to be here in Will County as well. As Doug mentioned, we're launching a significant project, not just for Lion, but for the electric mobility industry. We really are at a turning point in the United States, or in the world for that matter, of really changing historically how transportation has operated. It is going electric. It is going zero emission. In all of the things I'm seeing, the demand for these vehicles, this is inevitable. This will happen. And with that, Lion has selected Will County with a lot of help from the CED, I can say. So thank you, John, Doug, and Julie, to really select the right site from the standpoint of labor, from the standpoint of the university system, and where Will County is positioned in the country was really key in our decision. And, I hope I don't lose the charts and graphs crowd, because my presentation is almost exclusively pictures of buses and trucks. But I really wanted to share with everybody what's going to be coming out of this factory starting next year. We at Lion, we move very quickly. We have to. There are a lot of changes coming. And when you look at what's happening with medium and heavy duty transportation, there's over $50 billion at the federal level being considered for specifically zero emission electric vehicles, and even specifically school buses. So there is a lot of movement on this. There is a lot of demand for these vehicles, because it's just simply the new way that things are going to be happening with medium and heavy duty. School buses have already been taking kids to school for 5 years. We're beyond the pilot stage. We have data on these vehicles already. Fleets like Amazon, IKEA, UPS are already moving forward in the space, FedEx. So it's not just the municipal sector, but it's the private sector as well. We started in 2008, but quickly made the pivot to electric. And, we're an overnight success, 12 years in the making, is what our CEO says all the time. One of the reasons we've been successful is we started developing this early and have really invested in our technology. And again, when you look at this, we're not just school buses. We're building trucks, class 6 through class 8. We're building shuttle buses. And looking forward, there's utility bucket trucks, ambulances. Once you've really figured out how to make EV mobility work, it's transferable to so many different platforms. And one of the other key things that Lion is doing, and why there's really, you can see the longevity of Lion and why we've chosen to open the largest manufacturing facility of its kind in North America, in Will County, is we are building these to be electric. All of our vehicles are born to be electric. We are not retrofitting them into another chassis. We build all of it. We control that supply chain, the design, how they work. And that was a necessity. Retrofitting is not, in our opinion, the way to go. You really need to build these vehicles for what they are, because they're truly a different thing. When you lift the hood on any of our vehicles, there's no engine in there. So it's really a completely different vehicle. And when you're talking about these vehicles, they work, they move, they do what they're supposed to do in their given duty cycle. But what businesses are seeing, and this is data we already have, some real key indicators are 60% less cost in maintaining the vehicle, 80% less energy cost to fuel the vehicle. And, this is through some pretty robust use across the country. Cold climate, hot climate, there's really an economic argument for switching to EV. In a previous slide, it showed, 30,000 parts in a diesel vehicle versus 7,000 in an electric vehicle. So there's a whole lot less to maintain, and it really simplifies the process and keeps your vehicle on the road. Lion is not only growing in Will County, but we have service centers across the country. You can see quickly here where we already are and where we're going to make sure that we can service our vehicles and take care of our customers. Doug and I had a great conversation with a local school district and are working on a partnership to help develop the future engineers, the future laborers at our factory right here locally in Will County. There's a great workforce here, and we want to start developing that labor force as early as possible through partnerships through your different education programs, secondary school, community college, and then on up to the university level. Technicians of the future will need different skills, and Will County is ready for that. And I'll real quickly just kind of give you an idea of what's going to be coming out of the factory here in Will County. We will be building all of the major types of school buses you see on the road. Special needs buses, the most typical one, the Lion C that you see here in Illinois, is already operating here. The state is already funding incentives to get more EV vehicles on the road here in the state. But just again, to give you an idea, because Illinois is also picking up its EV deployments, states like California, the governor's budget has $3.2 billion specifically to put these type of vehicles on the road, and they'll be built in Illinois. And also, it's not just limited to school districts. We're building a shuttle bus, a minibus that can be used for sporting events, airports, university shuttles, municipal fleets. This vehicle will last twice as long as its counterpart, a cutaway type vehicle, and again will use 80% less fuel, 60% less maintenance, and can go 150 miles on a charge and be available to charge during the middays and the evenings. The trucking part of and everybody on this call knows that the trucking industry, really the sky is the limit from number of vehicles and the number of uses of these types of vehicles. There's a big push to electrify school buses, but the trucking industry is really what is going to launch EV into the next level. We're already, again, selling to Amazon. We've already got trucks on the road. And again, one of the real distinctive things about Lion is when I talk about our vehicles, they're already out there doing it. These aren't plans. We're not releasing them a year from now. These are on the road, taking packages throughout cities throughout the United States. One of the other great things, these are some of the platforms that are coming up. The refuse truck, all electric, no hydraulic arms. You can literally pick up refuse in a city or a county at 4 in the morning, and I doubt you'd get any phone calls about noise. The vehicles are incredibly quiet, and also gives municipal and public fleets a lot more flexibility. We will be building an ambulance as well on an electric platform. And when you look at these vehicles, I really urge people to look beyond their base use. These are also power plants on wheels. We have a pilot project in Florida where if there's a hurricane, you drive the school bus to the hurricane shelter, plug the bus into the hurricane shelter, and you're now providing power to that. Lights go out at a school, you plug in your school bus, your refuse truck, the lights come back on at your school. So it's going to give a lot of flexibility. Utilities are very interested in these vehicles because once all the school buses are done taking the kids back home, they plug back in and the grid can pull that remaining power out of the batteries to offset peak use. So there's a lot of vehicle to grid integration opportunities, energy storage opportunities. Transportation has gone beyond wheels on the road. It is a whole new industry and is going to benefit the general public in many more ways to come. The other thing, and it was interesting to listen to John talk about transportation infrastructure, and transportation is my favorite topic too, John, just so you know. But getting charging infrastructure through our freeway corridors, in our industrial areas, in our shopping mall parking lots is going to be key to what we're doing here, and also at residential sites for folks. So one thing Lion has done in order to keep this momentum going, because when you're talking about training a technician, installing charging specifically for vehicles, a lot of this expertise isn't necessarily out there. So we've created, in order to assist fleets to expedite the purchase of our vehicles, the Lion Beat, which puts in telematics so you can see state of charge on your battery and all of the other telematics that fleets are measuring for miles, idle time, all those types of things. There's no ASC certification right now for an electric vehicle, so we've created our own through the Lion Academy, which is a training program which integrates, again, as I mentioned, with education systems, but also with fleet operators. They need to know how to do some of the basic maintenance themselves, so we've just created the standard. Lion Energy will work with utilities and fleets to get infrastructure in. Grant team will help get fleets incentives on these vehicles. They are still more expensive than their counterparts. However, there's grant money that's changing that very quickly. Our prices have dropped over 50% in the last 4 years. So the trend is going in the right way. So with that said, I think it's really important that and I think most people do understand this, that there is a very distinct change happening in one of the most important sectors in the United States. And the centerpiece of this cutting edge change is happening in Will County. And I think that's a really exciting thing for the area. I know it's an exciting thing for the Lion Electric, and we're excited about being a good partner and being a local here in Will County.